kind of take me back to the beginning of when you realized that your children were gone with your ex?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing I heard was a phone call from, my kid's babysitter that Alicia hired a long time ago, and she was in a panic and just said, Kenny, I think your kids are missing. And at first, I thought she was just being, a little paranoid. But the more she talked, the more I was like, this is serious. I need to start calling a lot of people. Um, and that day, was just chaos of just talking to West Jordan police and her old friends and like trying to find a coworker and talking to her family and trying to figure out what was going on, getting a hold of her ex-boyfriend and trying to piece the story together.
And she's the mother of three of your children, right?
Right.
And then the fourth is from another father. So how long were you and Alicia together?
We were married for about 6 years. We've been separated and divorced for about five now.
5 years. Okay.
Yeah.
Did she ever talk about these religious beliefs, that the world might be ending or things might be, coming to a close?
No, I mean, when we were married, there was nothing like this. We were both grew up, LDS or Mormon, but have left the church since then. But none of these beliefs about end times or Salt Lake specifically being destroyed came about during our marriage or divorce or anything that I knew of.
How did you learn that she was talking about these things recently?
My sister was doing some internet sleuthing the first couple of days and found a TikTok account from her. And starting from May 2025, she started posting a lot of videos to TikTok. And then in the fall, they turned religious and started, declaring that she was relating dreams from God about how Salt Lake was going to be sunk in an earthquake or something, and all these other ideas about destruction and how she had to get out.
Oh, so just recently, well, within the past 4 or 5 months, it really became
Right,
more and more extreme.
right.
So, you share custody,
Yes, we had joint physical and legal custody of the kids.
and
Um,
that's, oh, go ahead.
I mean, I just barely got an approved child protective order that grants me full custody when the kids return.
I see. Okay. So you legally, as of now, have 100% custody of those kids, but obviously they're not here. Have you
Right.
had any contact with her, or has anybody that you know of had contact with her?
Um, Nothing. She pretty much went dark from everybody that I know that knows her on about the 28th of November, 27th, right after Thanksgiving. She did make a phone call to her ex-husband, claiming to be in France, but I've since learned from the FBI that that was not true. It was just a distraction.
She wasn't in France, but is she
Right.
in Europe?
All I know really is that she's somewhere in the European Union, in the EU.
Okay. And obviously, there's been no communication with your children then.
Right. Right.
Hmm. What's the latest that you can tell us about the investigation? You say the FBI is involved, West Jordan Police. Are other agencies assisting with this?
As far as I know, it's just the FBI. West Jordan Police did the initial investigation and, put, from what I know, like 6 or 7 detectives on it for a week before the FBI picked up the case, and they've been the ones handling, creating the federal charges and the federal warrants and getting those warrants over to Interpol to have them try and convert that into a Interpol warrant. And then there's more resources over there to try and narrow down what country she's in. And from there, it goes to a warrant to that specific country to go and arrest her. But that legal process is tedious.
Yeah. And it complicated because so many agencies and countries involved.
Right.
Kenny, did your children ever, before they left, in the fall, did they ever talk about like mom's acting weird or mom's saying weird things?
No, I mean, the only sign of any of this, which is, on its own, completely innocent, was that she bought them like cross necklaces a few months ago and said that they were learning about Jesus. And I went, okay, it's not a big deal if they're just kind of getting a little bit of religious education. That was it. They didn't mention anything else. They didn't even talk about what they learned. Nothing.
You mentioned that you were both members of the LDS Church. You're no longer. Had she walked away from the faith as well, or did she continue to go and raise and take the children to church?
I mean, I always had custody on Sundays, so they didn't attend any religious
Oh,
meetings. So what she did during the week with him, I'm not sure.
I see. But you had them on weekends, so they weren't going to
Right.
church or anything. So, yeah, you would think somebody buying their kids cross necklaces wouldn't be that big of a thing. Looking back now, do you think that may have been her getting ready for these things, or studying more and more, going in depth about these beliefs?
I mean, it's possible, but I don't think anybody should have any kind of paranoia happening just because their ex buys their kids cross necklaces. I mean, that on its own is pretty innocent.
Right. So a lot of people want to know, what they can do to help. Is there anything that our viewers can do?
I mean, at this point, it's trying to locate her. I have hopes that the FBI has been tracking her this whole time, through digital purchases and any burner phones she might have acquired. But if you have any contacts out in Europe, there's plenty of images on the GoFundMe and on multiple news articles. Go ahead and share those with people out there. If there's any LDS individuals that know, church members out there, get out to the local communities, because really canvassing in that area is nearly impossible. But the more we can get her image out there and knowledge of those four kids, the better.
And we have a lot of viewers right now on YouTube that watch us in Europe and might be able to assist, or at least keep an eye out. We'll put the photos of your kids up. I know that on your GoFundMe, Kenny, you've talked about maybe going over to Europe to look for them, or at least raise some money. Flights are expensive, lodging is expensive. If you were able to get that, would you even know where to start? I mean, that's a large part of the world to go and try to find your kids.
Yeah, I think staying on in the States right now is the plan. I don't think there's a purpose in one, or two individuals going out there, like, myself trying to go search physically. But I mean, her last known location was Amsterdam. She got off the plane there. So if anybody is willing to, talk to local agencies out there, the beginning of the paper trail is Amsterdam, but that's really me going out there myself seems a little fruitless. The GoFundMe has been made to have the money ready, so when they do locate her, we can be out there within 24 hours.
I see.
Minimize, the trauma to the kids, because I don't know what that's going to look like when she's, apprehended, and I don't want them to be with a policeman who doesn't speak English for 24 hours, while they're waiting for dad to show up.
Do you know the date that she was confirmed officially in Amsterdam?
I mean, she took a one-way flight from Salt Lake City to Amsterdam on November 30th, so was potentially there on November 30th at night or December 1st in the early morning.
So over a month now.
Yeah, it's been over a month. So
what would you say your level of concern is? Are you worried? Are you alarmed? How are you doing?
Yeah, ask me again in a few hours; it'll be different.
Right.
It's sometimes I feel like I'm in Liam Neeson, do all this legwork of the investigation myself mode, and sometimes I feel like I'm just breaking down and feeling hopeless. It's pretty up and down. I can put on this face for all these interviews, but behind cameras, my fiance and I are trading off who's crying each day.
Right.
It's not fun.
Yeah, I'm so sorry you're going through this. I hard to not have answers, or at least, some solid clues.
Right.
Have you followed any of the other cases of women who have, taken their kids because they fear the end times are coming? I mean, it's kind of been in the news the past few years with the Lori Vallow case, Jody Hildebrandt, others like that. Have you been up to date on those type of things?
I mean, I've heard about them over the years, but I'm not doing any research into them. I mean, even if they are similar, I think that the toll on my mental health wouldn't be worth it. It wouldn't change the way that I act day to day and the amount of work that I'm doing to try and find them.
Right.
So I don't think it's worthwhile to look into that. But obviously, it's in the back of my mind because everybody mentions it on every video. There's always somebody in the comments saying Lori Vallow.
Right.
So,
Probably a smart thing for you at this point, not to go down that lane, to just
yeah.
focus on your kids. Well, Kenny, I appreciate you chatting with me, and I hope that,